Please.
Your mom.
Good afternoon, beautiful Black people. How is everybody today? Welcome to the weekly Black Wealth Project Town Hall meeting. Today, we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. We're going to be talking about and sharing with you all our wealth strategy. So all six of us are going to be sharing with you all what our wealth strategies are. But before we get into this, do me a favor. Share this out with anybody that you know who's looking to increase their wealth, especially if they're Black. But listen, since this week has been full of beefs and people going bananas and sharing stuff all on social, I want to air something out because I got some beefs with some folks here in the Black Wealth Project.
Okay.
Right? I've been holding this in for the inside. It's been burning me up. And I gotta say, I got beef with Corey and with Jimmy, right? Like, Jimmy's running around, popping off, doing these fly memes. He even got Malik running around with him doing these fly memes. They got a whole they done left me behind. But my problem is, right, and again, it's hurt me to my soul. I mean, look at these guys' beards. I mean, right? So listen, I got a problem. I got beard, and I just want to air it out. Like, look at my beard. Like, it's not anything. I can't get the full John.
That's what happens when you move out the city, man. When you move out the city,
I've been trying to do it for like 20 years now, right?
Man, I got a struggle beard, man. I can never get it.
But now, listen, happy Sunday, everybody. I just wanted to start this off with a little laughter, a little fun. I do envy Jimmy and Corey's beards. Them things popping. I've been washing my jaw up, getting my beard balm, getting the shea butter, but it ain't working. So I might have to cut this thing off. But,
at least you goatee touch. Look at my drum.
hold up. You gonna go full clean face on this though? Don't you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? You going corporate?
Please, no, man.
I ain't going, but you know,
don't go pedo face on us, man.
Listen, the sisters get to change it up whenever they want to. So you know, I might switch it up a little bit. You know, do a little role play or something.
You want to get a man unit, bro? If I get a man unit.
But listen, again, welcome everybody. I'm thankful to everyone that's here. Do me a favor. I want to do something a little bit different today to the audience. Listen, chime in and let us know where you're from. Chime in and let us know where you're from so we can give you a proper shout out and represent your area very, very well. Again, today we are going to be talking about our own individual wealth strategies. So it might be real estate, it might be business, it might be a combination of things, right? But we're going to get into that. And do me a favor, chime in and let us know what your wealth strategy is. What are you going to do to help yourself, your family, your community elevate in the wealth game? And also what you're going to do to help the next generation. Because really, that's why we're about this wealth thing anyway. It's not so much for us, it's for our future generations, our children's children. So without further ado, how's the Black Wealth Project team today?
Everybody chilling.
Yeah, doing well,
good,
pretty
man.
good. Yeah, man.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's start off with with our health check-ins. Who's going first?
I mean, I'll go first. You know, same thing every week. You know, I got my right rotator cuff is acting up, man, because I'm getting up this 1,000. I don't know, man. That joint might get cut down to 1,000. You know, lifts of my fork at this point because my shoulder hurt from getting up these jump shots. This week I really ain't have no bad food. I ain't had no burgers. I ain't no fast food or nothing. So I'm pretty sure that I ain't clogged my arteries up this week because I've been eating like fruits and veggies on for every meal this week. So I'm vegan to the weekend. I'm gonna have some chicken tonight.
Speaking of that, let's go to Malik. Right, Malik, I ain't seen that shirt in a minute. Where's the vegan to the weekend shirt, bro?
I only bought two for myself. You know, other folks bought a couple of them, but they in the streets. All
right, I gotta get me one, so I'll make sure I order one today.
Yeah, I gotta get one too. I definitely get one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that was technically the first Black Wealth Project wealth idea. Like, and it came out. Listen, we gonna claim that. We might need some about that thing.
We get to the weekend in the streets.
Yeah, how you do this week, Malik? With your health check-in?
I got some sleep, man. Honestly, I didn't do a lot of working out, but I walked up to the park. Coffee Park is like a mile, so I did that round trip with my son. But other than that, I got sleep this week. When normally I just really don't sleep a lot. But this week I just rested, honestly.
Hey man,
I don't know how you got sleep. You be on socials at 3 a.m. So I'm like, when you be sleeping on a day?
Yeah, like when your sleep schedule, dog.
Nah, listen. I've been sleeping late.
I thought I was bad. Yo, he don't miss nothing on IG. I thought I was bad. Malik sees it all.
Yes.
Man, look, listen, no, man. Like now, I might sleep till 10:30. That's the problem, man. I've been sleeping late. Like I don't even know how I'm gonna get back to 5 o'clock club, man. Because 5 a.m. club, because this 10 o'clock feel kind of good.
All right, Tracy. How was your health check-in this week?
Health good. Still doing lots of walking. Still doing up and down steps. And trying to get some vitamin D, but good.
All right.
Gangster.
What about you, Courtney? Coming to you next.
I had a pretty good week. We're still doing Peloton. So this week's Peloton. I don't care. So this week's Peloton was 2 live classes. So I took they did a little Wayne ride on Wednesday. And then I did a live ride today.
Wait a minute, you said a little Wayne ride?
Like I was like, explain that. What does that mean?
It was all Lil Wayne music.
Oh, wow.
I mean, how would we know that? I'm not rich enough or fortunate enough.
They're playing some Peloton, thank you.
Oh, okay.
So at 0% APR.
What percent?
0% APR. 0%.
That's for you people with that great 850 credit score.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't even know. Like I feel like you fade me into a corner. I'm like, wait, hold on, time out. So, but anyway, so did that. Pretty much been riding my bike, relaxing, getting some sleep, trying to get some sleep, doing a little bit of walking. We walked to get ice cream the other day, which is kind of strange because I'm not a big ice cream person, but we definitely walked to get ice cream. So,
okay.
That was my
Okay.
Jimmy, what you got for us?
Are you doing Peloton?
I had a great week. I'm actually not. My wife is doing the Peloton. She's on whatever that pink team is because I was looking at that the other day. But I didn't join the Peloton because I'm on my new thing now with Peloton, and I'm still got my streak going. I'm like 30 days straight. But trying yoga now. That's my new thing. My new thing is trying to see if I can get good at yoga. Back when outside was open, I had started yoga before, but Peloton has yoga on there as well. And shout out to my favorite person on Peloton, Chelsea Jackson Roberts. I know she's a long-time follower of us. I'm joking, but no, but she has a lot of good yoga classes. So I've been trying to add yoga to the repertoire now.
Hey Jimmy, do me a favor. Please don't wear yoga pants to our next town hall meeting.
Come on, man. No. I'm not into that, beloved. No, sir. Yoga's amazing, though, man. You feel amazing at that yoga class, though. I'm telling you, man, that's the move.
Listen, I tell everybody this. My hardest and best workout ever is when I do hot yoga. It's bananas, like the stuff.
I'm gonna need somebody to explain to me this whole goat yoga thing, because I was watching my new obsession. It's a show on Netflix. It's a show on Netflix called Indian Matchmaker. And they had a scene on there where they were doing this goat yoga, and I'm trying to figure out what's goat yoga and who's the first person to come up with that. Like, how's that a thing?
Goat yoga. So have you seen it at all?
They do yoga and they have goats standing on them while they do yoga. It's a thing though. I looked it up after I saw it. It's called goat yoga.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Do you know how influential you have to be to get an entire community to put a goat in their back?
Dude, it's the thing. Listen, fam, look, do your Googles, man. Goat yoga is real, and it's like a whole thing. Like, it's a movement. I'm like, who started this? Anyway, so yoga's what's up with me, Kamari. Kamari, how you doing?
Listen, man,
I can't answer any of that. Like,
I'm a keep it funky with y'all. My off week sucked. I did absolutely nothing since last Sunday. Last Sunday I ran right before
I saw you running on the gram. I saw you running on the gram though.
It was all video.
So wait.
You faking us out? You bringing back old me? Are you faking us out?
It didn't rain today. It didn't rain.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, let me find out Kamari gonna be on false prophets, man. Like, what's going on?
Nah, listen. I want to avoid false prophets and all that smoke that's over there. I just good by the people and the karma. I think that's actually Tony the Closer's page, but I don't want no problems.
Nah, I don't think it's his page.
But his stuff's always on there.
I know, but
and it's funny, like as soon as something goes on his page, it automatically goes on false prophets. I think it's linked somehow, maybe.
It's another brother that posts too that all his content goes up there. But I mean, that's either here nor there. I was wondering when I saw you post it, I'm like, how's he outside running in the rain? I'm like, where's he at? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's raining where he is.
Yeah, I was on the other side of the planet. But listen, Jimmy, nah, I don't fake out. Since you brought up the show's right. Has anybody watched 90 Day Fiance?
Yeah, for sure.
So I got a question. Listen, anybody in the chat, do y'all watch 90 Day Fiance? Because it seems like all the people from Nigeria marry these white women from America. And they are like crazy, mad disrespectful to the culture, to the men. And I don't know, I don't watch it that much, but every time I catch it, that's what happens. So I was just curious about that.
No, that is the thing on there, like that, and not that my wife watches it, so I end up watching it by proxy.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's what you said is absolutely true. That is a thing on there that I noticed.
Yeah,
and they do be mad disrespectful too.
Yeah, mad disrespectful. So,
I mean, yeah, I catch a little bit, but then he got the one 90 Day the Other Way. I think we watched that one probably a little more frequently.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the same show, but instead of them like coming to US, they moved to that person's country.
Yeah, but speaking of like our last show was about our last show was about marriage, right? So y'all got to watch this show that I was talking about on Netflix. It's called Indian Matchmaker, right? So it's like this top level Indian matchmaker, and they go into the culture of arranged marriages. And part of what they talk about is how marriage is about wealth, and it's about families marrying each other. So, but it's a reality show, but it's really intriguing. I wanted to see what it was about because Netflix, the algo put it in front of my face, so you start watching it and you get caught in the trap. But so a lot of it is about. And all these families have resources. It's about marrying families and how marriage and culture is still about wealth. So they have a thing where they call like marriage and love marriage. So regular marriage to them is the one that's arranged. And then you have like a second thing called love marriage is when people like find their own spouse. It's pretty interesting. It's on Netflix. It's called Indian Matchmaker. Netflix, cut a check.
I would watch that episode. I wouldn't watch the whole movie. Like I wouldn't watch a series, but I'll watch an episode of that.
It's only 8 episodes.
What up? You never plan and just watch the whole episode, the whole series. You just get caught up.
Yeah, they get you.
Moving right along this week for our Bob, our B.O.B., our Black-owned business highlight. Miss Tracy will be presenting that. And Miss Tracy, I know you have a Black-owned business that's into makeup, correct?
No, the Black-owned business I'm doing is actually a Philadelphia-based nail salon. And it is called Brown Sugar Spa. It is in South Philadelphia. It is an amazing Black-owned business. They take appointments. They do all kinds of services. And this one is for my ladies because we're coming out of COVID. A lot of us have been at the stay-at-home order, and we might need to tighten up those toes, those heels, as well as the fingers and those cuticles. This Black-owned business is amazing for those things, and they are known for their brown sugar scrub that they have created. So please stop by if you can. Brown Sugar Nail Spa in South Philly, and it's my Black-owned business for the week.
There you go.
Where are they located at? I'm trying to find the address.
If you scroll down a little bit more, it should be on that page that you're on, closer to the bottom.
Okay, 1128 South 9th Street. 1128 South 9th Street. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, Tracy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's real dope. But Tracy, I do got to beef with you, right?
Uh-oh.
Men get mani-pedis too. Don't forget
They
about
do. They do. I'm not excluding my men, but women, we're just in a real like deprivation situation right now because we couldn't really get into the nail salons, and we really like need our self-care. So
well, listen, if you was in Atlanta, you know, they booked them things out already. So you know how that's going.
No, Atlanta's perfect. No.
Hey, where do they have the one with the fish and the pedicures on?
There is a spa that does it. I can't remember the name of it, but it is little fish. They're like sucker fish almost, that like suck off dead skin off of your feet.
Yeah. I want to go to one of those joints.
Yeah.
You put your feet in the fishbowl?
Well,
Yeah.
it's like you sit in a chair and then there's a full tank under you, and you put your feet into the water hold tank.
Okay. All right. That's
Yeah, and I've seen that. Like, yo, when I was in Prague, they had them joints like on every corner, and they was like crowded, men, women. I'm like, yo, they just putting their feet in the water, and I'm like, yo, guess it's a European thing, but
not Jimmy.
It was like literally on every corner.
So you just did like a low level stunt on us.
Yeah, little stunt.
Unless what country?
Oh damn, no, man, no. Listen, man, I was over there speaking at a conference, man, so I got a free, you know. But that's either here nor there, man. I'm just saying that was a thing over there.
Low level stunt times 2. What country is Prague?
Listen, Prague is a European country, man. But if you want to know exactly where it is, I'm gonna tell you what it's close to. But it's a beautiful country, by the way. Although here's the thing about Prague, real quick. There's nobody black there. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is somebody black there, but when we were in Prague, people were staring at us like we were aliens, and and actually it got to the point where I asked somebody like, "Why are you guys just staring at?" And he was like, "We don't see black folks out here because it used to be part of Russia before the split." So, but anyway. My point was, it wasn't the stunt, Kamari. My point was about the actual fish.
Hey, man, I feel you. But Prague, right? Because listen, black folks travel, right? So Prague is in the Czech Republic, everybody. It's one of the...
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's in the Czech. No, I knew that, but I'm just saying, like, black folks do travel. Like, I don't believe in these stereotypes, man. Black folks be out here, man, but just generally not in Prague. not in Prague. But
listen, I'm going to tell you,
other places.
Listen, here's a tip. Here's a tip for all you young fellas out there. You gotta go to those black travel groups, man. You gotta do it. If I was young and single, all you see is like 80 beautiful black women with bread, and it's like 3 or 4 guys. You should go on those trips. Like traveling the wild.
They got the best Instagram pages. They got the best IG pages.
Yeah.
The thing about them pages, though, Malik, I be sitting there wondering, like, yo, they must travel with photographers because their pictures just be like, they don't use regular cell phones. Like, I'm like, yo, who's taking these pictures?
Actually, so what it is, like nomads, they have a trip, right? They'll have an alert. They're like, okay, nomad's trip. That it'll sell out in 4 or 5 minutes. And so you got to think, what kind of woman can book a trip in 4 or 5 minutes and go? I mean, that means she's open-minded and she got bread. Fellas, go on those trips.
I'm a part of the Philly No Madness tribe.
You go. I'm telling you.
So that was another low-level stunt by Tracy.
Yeah, it's off me now. It's Tracy.
We got a comment in this, Sean Flem. He said he was in Russia in January, and he said he had the same exact experience.
No, listen, fam. When I say they stare at you,
go ahead, Jimmy.
It's crazy. No, I was just saying, when I say they stare at you, it's like an uncomfortable stare. Like they're looking at you like you're an alien. But someone was nice enough to tell me, they was like, well, it's no disrespect. We just really only black people we see are on TV. So like, what team you play for? I'm like, I don't play for nobody. Like, you just assume that if we can be over here, we must be, I must be in the league or something.
Man, listen, I was the one, man. I went to Denmark with the wife. It wasn't like that, but I was confused. Listen, no, look. I was given a black head nod, like, yo, what up? And nobody responded. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I said, what up? Like, nobody, they just walked right by me. I'm like, man, yeah, you got learned out here. Like, it was so few black people that I'm like, yo, when you see one, like, yo, acknowledge the black head nod. And they just straight walk past me.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a universal thing.
Our main topic, before we move on to our main topic, let's check in with the people. Remember, I asked everybody that's checking in to check in and tell us where you're checking in from.
No one followed the directions.
Angela Mitchell checks in. I'm guessing it was blank, but I guess she wanted to say hello.
Well, no, she said hi. That was she used a Bitmoji.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay. Christopher Packer Walken says, Kamari still waiting on my portfolio. Hi, Christopher. How are you? Happy Sunday. I got that coming from you, bro. I got that.
Yo, Chris been hitting us with that message for like the last 8 weeks, Kamari. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I've been busy. Tax season just ended last week.
False problem.
Listen, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Tyrone Benjamin Chavis. What's up, Todd?
Hey, Todd.
Got in a great 2.5 mile run this morning.
Nice.
Sean Fleming said that's how we keep Wu-Tang money all up in the family. Exactly. He saw
you see.
So y'all believe in arranged marriages?
Jabbar Fairweather says, good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Jabbar.
Yeah, what's going on,
What's
Jabbar?
up, bro?
Hey, Bar.
Why you wife for you, Timmy?
I know she's trying to play me.
Well, fireball.
I'm glad you're watching though.
Hey, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
All right, and Sean says, yes, he was in Russia in January, had the same experience. Yeah. Monica Williams, very least, she got a credit card she can use, referring back to
Malik's comment.
Yeah. Absolutely, Monica. Always got to keep a travel card.
Right. Either they got good credit or good cash. Either one's fine with me. All right, Sean, facts. Sean said he saw a total of 5 people while he was in Russia.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
In a week. Like one a day. He probably saw everybody on Friday. Jabbar is from New Jersey. All right, shout out to New Jerusalem. The Shy's in the building.
Hi, Adrian.
Adrian,
student. Hi, Adrian.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey, Adrian.
All right, folks. So as we move along, we are talking about our individual wealth strategies. And listen, we want to hear about your wealth strategies too. Like, what are you up to? What are you doing? What assets are you buying to create wealth and to leave to your next generation? So chime into the chat and let us know what you got. So to start this off, let's start off with Malik, because I think he's probably the most visible with his overall wealth strategy. So tell us what you're working on, Malik.
You know what? I'm glad you're starting with me, because like I'm just learning. Actually, the whole reason I began to put out so much content recently is because I realized that my financial literacy is not what I thought it was. You know, I thought I've done very well in real estate. You know, I have a net worth I wasn't sure I was going to be able to meet because of real estate. But then when I was looking out, like really planning for the next level for the kids, I had no idea what I was doing. I called my accountant. My accountant said do one thing. Called the attorney said do something else. Called your financial advisor. They all go back and forth. And I was like, listen, y'all get in the three-way and y'all come up with a plan and let me know what I should be doing. Like, it's just all over the place. So, but what I did to get to this point is my most important thing is I don't buy shit, right?
Say it again. Say it again.
I don't buy shit.
Thank you.
That's my biggest wealth strategy, is not buying shit, right? Keeping the money that I make. Nextly, I just buy real estate, and my real estate plan has had to evolve as Philadelphia evolves. I was just buying cheap houses, renting them out, but Philadelphia doesn't really have that many cheap houses. I mean, not 20,000 cheap. It's very difficult to find those, at least where I would want to buy them. So my strategy changed up a little bit, but all in all, slow and steady, add rental to the portfolio, stop buying stuff. That's been the number one thing. I am now buying long-term hold in stocks, but once again, that journey just started in March. I wasn't buying any stocks until then. I was taking my life insurance plan only a few months ago. Speaking of life insurance, that's what Courtney Sell tweeted me. Check me on my own page. I made a false profit comment about insurance. I made a listen. I'm real estate coach Carter. I should have stayed in my lane because insurance was where I need to go. But I am an advocate. I think everybody needs to have insurance. And what I said was, everybody get some insurance, even if it's term, and just to make sure you can survive through COVID. Mind you, this time I didn't know Courtney. She jumped on my page. No, you don't, because all they'll give you is just bad advice. All they'll give you is your policy back or your premium back if you die. That's bad advice. Don't say that.
I'm pretty sure that's not what I said, though, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't the original quote that made me
go. You know what?
Hey,
you know what?
Pull it up, though.
The beautiful thing is Facebook is still there. We can scroll back.
Pull it up, though.
We're going to say that to the last, y'all. We're going to say that to the last. But yeah, Carter, pull that up so we can show the receipts. Please do. Please do. Because Courtney will not shy away from checking somebody.
No.
So, but real quick, Coach Carter, right? You're not just buying real estate in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania anymore, right? You've expanded.
Right. So now I'm doing. So now I have a house to flip in Durham, North Carolina, and I bought 3 vacant lots that I'm looking to develop. And I'm actually tomorrow. I'm actually going to put an offer in on. I didn't get the 1.5 acres yet. The realtor didn't call me back, but I got another 20-acre parcel that I'm looking at in a different. Right now it's a tobacco farm in North Carolina, so I'm looking to try to get that 20-acre project going. And so my plan is I'm going to build and resell in North Carolina and use that money to come back to Philly to buy more. And for those that don't know, I had Hood Estates on my Instagram live the other day talking about the trucking industry, and I'm probably going to put 2 trucks on the road, and we'll see what happens with those trucks, and I will give you updates on that process too. So the goal is to make $1,000 a week net from each truck. That's the goal.
Sweet. Corey, coming to you next. What is your wealth strategy, brother?
So what I do is I have a lot my long-term my long-term goal is to put my money into businesses and help small businesses grow into bigger businesses. I have my hands in about 20 small businesses where I've already put money into them. I only need one of them to pop. Nothing crazy. I put a couple hundred to maybe $1,000 into each business. Maybe one of them pop. I have that's my speculative part of my portfolio. I have a long-term stock portfolio that I put X amount of dollars in every week. I trade options, and so some of the money I make from the options trading, I put into my long-term portfolio. I started grabbing properties down here in Texas. My wife wants to grab some more properties back in Philly, but that market is doing too much for me right now, so I'm leaving it alone. Y'all murdering that market, so I'm gonna get out here where it's where ain't nothing but open land and spaces out here, and I can get out here and get loose and get busy and get free. I've already copped one. I'm looking at copping another one next week. I'm looking at copping a 11 acre parcel. It's a commercial parcel.
Nice.
So, I don't want to put too much out there. I don't want to put out there what you want, but is that strategy that we talked about last week that you were thinking about?
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm grabbing an 11 acre commercial parcel. And so that's what I'm looking at doing. once that do what it do, I'll probably be done because I'm just going. Well, I mean, I'm already in the crypto space also, so I grab crypto every week too because I got a hedge against the deflationary dollar, and so I'll be grabbing up crypto every time. If you send me a Cash App, just know it's going straight to crypto. If you Cash App me any money, it goes directly into crypto. And also I'm looking at what Jim looking at as far as grabbing some precious metals too, because I was looking into that as also a hedge against the deflationary dollar. I gotta get some diversification going on. I got so much insurance. I think the government gonna pump me full of embalming fluid if I die. So no, seriously, I know I got at least 7 people that got an insurance policy on. And I had one on myself.
That's their wealth strategy.
Yep. So, if literally, like, I'm worth way more dead than alive, but at this point, I'm good. None of those people want me dead, so I'm alive.
Got you. Coming to you next, Courtney. What you got for us?
Yo, I'm sorry. All I can do, seriously, a lot of people say that they're like, I'm worth more dead than I am alive. And then you had that random, this is not Corey's situation, we hope, but somebody like will come and try to kill them for the like insurance money. But they don't realize that because of the Slayer statutes in every state, if you kill somebody, you can't get the money from the insurance policy.
What's the statute again, Courtney? What's the statute?
It's called the Slayer statute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that's the funniest thing because people are like, yeah, I've heard so many stories. You hear these. I watch Lifetime movies. Lifetime movies are really good. But I watch those and I'm like, don't they know that they're not going to get any money? But anyway, so to my wealth strategy. So my wealth strategy is to build and protect. So it's kind of like both things going on at the same time. So in terms of protection, I have my insurances. I have term and I have whole, depending on whatever the issue is taken care of. In terms of like my streams of income, I basically am trying to manage 4. I don't think anybody needs 7, but if you have 7, rock out. So my ideally, I'm working on the Ivy Investor. I've been working on my business income. I have my dividend, my long-term investing portfolio. So that's my dividend income, my capital gains income. And I'm looking to buy a duplex in 2021, maybe 2020. And Tracy that knows that I am not a real estate person. I had an entire meltdown with this last real estate project.
Yeah.
It was just, and it's still like, it's honestly still not done though. It's still not done. I got a call from my contractor today and they were like, yeah, we're going to come and do demos on Tuesday. And I was like, you're what? You're what? So again, step by step, but I would like to get some duplexes, some rental income, some multifamily units, just to kind of even out my portfolio because as my business grows, as my investment portfolio grows, I need something to kind of kick off some tax benefits like depreciation, which comes from the real estate portfolio.
Got you. Jimmy, coming to you next. What's your wealth strategy?
I'm glad you let Malik go first because he said something that's very crucial with him. He doesn't buy shit, right? So I think that I'm very blessed, and one of the reasons I've been able to accumulate what I have is because I just don't spend as much money as most people. So I'm able to keep a lot of income that comes in, and I think that's very key when we talk about wealth strategies is to watch your spending. In terms of my investments, I've also had another thing Malik said too was about learning what you think that you know a lot, and then you realize like there's a whole other game out there. All right. So what I mean by that is I used to be a complete real estate guy too. At my max, I think I had close to 60 doors in about 5 different states. It was about 5 different states. But the problem was I wasn't making as much money as now I am with less doors because what I recognized is I had so much leverage. Right. This is back before 2008 when you can get a loan just by saying, yo, I breathe. They'd be like, here's $1 million. And you'd be like, cool. Like just like when you watch that, what's the movie with The Big Short? That was like reality back then. So I had a bunch of properties, right? And I had some that I weren't even cash flowing. Some were cash flowing $100. And what I realized is I started scaling back. So I got lucky. I sold most of my real estate before everything, went to complete shit. But I held on to most of the pieces I had in Philadelphia. So now I'm still real estate heavy. But what I'm figuring out now is to buy the properties that I want to keep. Before I was trying to keep everything, even if it didn't make sense. I was one of those guys like, don't flip, you hold everything. But now I'm recognizing that it's okay to flip sometimes. It all depends upon the specific deal. So my wealth strategy is to buy assets that cash flow and take that cash flow to then buy other assets. So real estate is like where I make most of my money at. And so real estate's one. I have a long-term portfolio that I've been building over the last 20 years in terms of dividend stocks, which is primarily made up of 3 individual companies in index funds. So the 3 companies, I'll put them out there. I own a bunch of shares in Coca-Cola, Disney, and Johnson & Johnson.
Nice.
I have a huge amount of money in the S&P 500, the Vanguard index fund that is, and I have a SEP IRA, which is the Vanguard real estate is a real estate index fund. And other thing I've been buying this year in 2020 is ETF MGK. So that's how I am in the equities market. But my hands are kind of all over the place. My wife and I have an LLC that's for angel investing, so we invest in a lot of startup companies. So we have that. Then we have the business income that comes from a couple other businesses, such as like Buy the Hood. And my wife and I also own a publishing company that has like 2 books out already. So there's income that comes from there. So it's to create businesses and buy assets that kick off cash, take that cash, and then reinvest in other assets. That's kind of what the overall strategy is. And I have a whole life policy. I don't even have a term policy. I have a whole life. I'm a whole life guy who tries to build up cash value in there. And that's also tied to the S&P 500 equity index whole life policy. But my overall strategy, if I had to condense all that into a strategy, is to buy cash flow. So I'm buying cash and using that cash to buy other assets. Corey just mentioned I'm also like hedging against things as well. So I've been in the crypto space. I buy bonds as well. And I'm learning right now. I've already started purchasing, but I'm learning more about the precious metals market as also another way to inflation. So my hands are kind of all over. It's also some structure to it. Get cash from assets to buy other assets.
Gotcha. Well, shout out to all my gold bugs out there because I know they are happy and jumping for joy. They're probably happy.
Listen, man.
Pigs and slop. Gold is at an all-time high at 1902. All-time high.
1902?
Yeah,
man.
Close to 2 stacks. Listen, and I started buying a couple months ago, and I'm like, I'm already up. I'm like, I know this is not like normal, but you know how it is. And you get in something, you were up right away, and I'll probably get a humbling lesson later on. But who knew that Corona would do this?
Well, who knew that Corona would do this? And then you got multiple stimulus packages coming out, and so usually when government pumps money into the economy, gold tends to rise. So I'm not surprised at all. So listen,
they about to pump some more out there.
Yep. Quick check in. Everybody, again, check in. Let us know where you're from. Let us know what your wealth strategy is. What are you working on? Are you heavy in the real estate like Jimmy and Malik? Are you buying industrial parks like Corey? Are you building up it's like the Ivy investor like Courtney? So tell us what you're working on. All right, Tracy, it is your turn. Everybody knows what Tracy's going to do. It's in her name.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, my investment strategy is definitely real estate, and I'm pretty much super heavy real estate personally, but I also have a trust that I manage for my family, which is about 79 doors, and only I think we have mortgages up to about maybe $1 million. And they are in 3 states currently: Pennsylvania, Florida, and California.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I have equity in that trust, so there's a lot that goes into that with just maintaining the acquired family wealth. But there's also my personal LLCs and properties that I buy. I do a lot more of just buy and holds. I've kind of gotten into fix and flips over the last 5 years or so, but that's typically just to kind of raise capital. But for the most part, transitioning everything into making sure that it's slow and steady, long-term growth. And if the market shifts in a space where it's better to let go of that asset to acquire more doors with one sale to pick up 2 to 3 purchases, I definitely discuss it with my CPA and my attorney for my personal LLC. If I have to make a change in the estate, I'm sorry, in the trust, then I have to discuss it with my e-board or the trustee.
Got you. Well, Tracy just stunted on us again. She got her own trust. She's popping in her current generation, and he already got their next generation stuff
That's
set
dope.
up. So that's dope. I commend you and your family for being that.
It just feels boring with all the other stuff you guys are into. I'm not heavy into stocks and stuff because I know you guys all are. I've kind of got my toe in. I do own a couple different stocks, definitely Netflix, Tesla, Disney, and Apple. I do have those in my portfolio. And Apple. What was that?
No, but the crazy thing is what you said is kind of like what I recognize is like there's a whole other space. There's a whole other space in terms of like trust and taking it to the next level. That's what I meant when I was saying you think you know it all. Like what I've learned over the last like couple years, learned some from listening to what Courtney says or what Courtney teaches, and just from a lot of people is like the whole other part of not just building it. So I've been good at saving and building, but how you take that to the next level where you control things without having your name owning it, and also to pass from one generation to the next. So that's what I need to get better at in terms of, and I'm getting better because I'm, now I have people I can lean on and learn the information from. But that's the next level. Like your family is already there. You're managing a trust. So it's like you're already ahead of the game with that part. It's one thing to build it, but the next thing is to get it to the next generation and have, something that you can pass along and everybody can continue to build together. That's the part I was talking about in terms of learning. I'm learning that part now.
Right. Absolutely. And I like a lot of it too is when you get to that portion of it, it's risk management and also making sure that you understand like the uses of property insurance on those properties that you own, because we do have basically life insurance policies on all of our properties. So in the event that we can show the person that's the trustee on the trust passes away, those properties, whatever mortgage is on that title gets zeroed out.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, so that's actually what I did. Like Tracy and I have been working on a project together, and I had a mortgage on the property. And immediately, as soon as I got the mortgage, what did I do? I took out a term policy for the length of the mortgage.
Yep.
So if something happens to me, or it happens to my fiance or my mother, the property is paid off. Well, actually, my mom is actually not on the policy because my mother is older. She has her own whole life policy, which we actually ported from her employer. And the reason why we ported it from her employer because she retired at the age of 66. And when you get older, it's really hard for you to get insured. So we were able to take her former employer's insurance policy and basically make that her own policy. It's a little bit more expensive than if she would have gotten underwritten herself. But 9 times out of 10 at 66, with some of the health problems that she had, she probably would not be able to get her own insurance policy directly.
Yeah, that's a great gem, Courtney, because a lot of people don't realize.
And now I got work to do. I gotta insure my. Now I got work to do. I gotta insure my.
But that's the great thing. Man. Like, listen,
that's something
you'll never know it all, and that's the great thing about it. And the great thing about building with you guys every Sunday is we constantly learn things. Like you're never going to know it all. You just won't.
Right. So I'll go last. My strategy, since I kind of got started late in life, I was a teenage parent, went to college late, had a couple of failures in business. My strategy is to continue to build my business, the Philly tax team, do a lot of tax advising, a lot of tax planning, thinking about maybe at some point, maybe adding financial advising back to the mix since I came from that world. But again, my thing is to build my business up, build the cash flow up, and buy more long-term holds in stock, especially a lot of dividend stocks. So that's my overarching strategy. It's pretty simple. I live
$5 million in Ford stock. You ain't tell us about that though.
Well, hold on. I didn't get there yet. question, but I didn't get there. Give me a minute. So, you know, I'm still trying to figure out certain things, but as I build again, I'll be taking my cash flow, and investing it into other things, especially stocks. I don't have a big appetite for things. I'm not really a car dude. I'm definitely not a guy that's into labels. So, you know, I'm into my own labels. I want to brand myself and my companies. I'm not really worried about branding anybody else or paying somebody to let me brand for them. So, you know, that's me. Now, Jimmy, what did you just say? I missed that.
I said, but you didn't tell everybody how you got $5 million in stock in Ford. You left that part out.
I don't have $5 million in stock in Ford. Jimmy trying to get a hit put out. You know these streets.
Remember the Slayer statue.
Listen, but you know, slick now. You trying to be slick. But yeah, I brought Ford. I like Ford for the long term. Like I said, I'll take some cash out of my business and I'll buy it into things I think will strategically build value over the long haul. And I'm looking at Ford for the next 10 to 20 years as a return. I'm not looking for it as a lottery ticket, right? I'm looking for it as a long-term hold.
Yeah. I think with myself, like my strategy, I kind of came on it by accident. Like a lot of things that worked out for me so far were not planned. It just happened. Like for instance, my last property that I own, I still own it, but the mortgage on it was 625, and I refinanced it, took out like 50 grand, and the payment only went up to 675. So I just bought another house in Germantown, and the rent on that house was $1250, right? So my mortgage is 625. I got a house free and clear. Tenant paid me $1250. So my entire life is being really paid by that tenant. And then when I moved to this next house, I used that same strategy and got another property, and that rent covers the mortgage where I live. And so my thing is like I really want to keep my my cost of living low. And the next step is I'm really thinking about, you know, trying to skip this country to get somewhere where I can really save some money. That's the next thing.
Yep. So Malik, I got a quick question for you, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
Is your plan to just continue to buy properties, refi, and buy more? Or do you plan on paying down the debt in any of those properties that you own?
I don't have my debt. So the way my properties are right now, I'm so mad right now. The way my properties are right now is on one property I have a big mortgage, like almost leveraged up, and the next property I refi, get my money out. And then the third property will be free and clear, right? And once again, that's by accident, you know. So I did buy some for the low that with no mortgage. I just kept them like that. And the reason why I started to do that is because I lost everything in 2008, and I still have that fear, and I'm not willing to leverage up again. So that if we lose everything again, then I'll still be cool. Like I still got my houses, you know, with no mortgages, and I'll be okay. That's the reason why I did that. And that fear got me to a space to where I'm not leveraged up, so I can scale a lot faster than I am. But because I'm frugal and like you said, I don't want a lot of stuff, it's easy for me to, you know, keep those free and clear and still live a very comfortable life. You know, I've been telling people since March, I might have maybe worked 40 total hours since COVID hit, you know, and I'm still doing just fine. I'm A-okay.
It's another stunt.
That's not a stunt. I've been telling people.
$6 million man, Colt Severs over here.
Look, it's not
101.
For my lifestyle, I don't need $6 million. My lifestyle, if I made $21,000 a year, I'm cool. I don't need a lot.
I think that's a great point, Kamar. What he just said is a great point because me and Malik were actually talking earlier today, and I was telling him, I said the thing about it is when you live frugally, and it's not about like not having your needs. It's about understanding what adds value to your life, right? And when you care about things that just add value to your life, and you're able to live and scale back some, you don't need to have as much. Some people think you need to have $10, $20 million a little. And I was telling Malik earlier, I was like, man, I'm getting ready to stop everything. I just want to move to Jamaica and it's like live on a party boat that goes back and forth to Rick's Cafe. That's the goal. That's the dream right there. I'm just gonna go back and forth all day long on the party boat, and that's gonna be my life. And it's gonna go ashore every Sunday to do the show. But the fact is, I have those thoughts because it doesn't cost that much to live, because I only care about things that I need. And I think that's crucial when you talk about a wealth strategy, is understanding where your money is going. Because it's not about how much money you make, it's about what you do with the money that you do make.
Right.
Yeah, I think
what I ask people all the time. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a really good point. I have, and Tracy knows this, I had a very expensive car. It was a dumb expensive car. I was paying, and every time I went to the dealership, they're like, "Hey, Courtney," it was like Cheers, y'all. It was so ridiculous. And I was basically making, and now granted, I didn't at the time I owned property, but I didn't have a mortgage. I was making a mortgage payment for my car maintenance. It was ridiculous. Like, it was just so, and I mean, and again, but the thing is, you have to understand the things that you like really, not even must have, but the things that you really like, and the things that you're like, nah, I'm kind of lukewarm on it. Because it's nothing wrong with having nice things, but it's also being mindful about where your money is going. So yeah, I want my Benz back, y'all, but I have a Ford because I'm being responsible. But here's the thing, though. I was embarrassed when I started looking at my COVID bank account, and I was like, I spend so much money indiscriminately, and since I haven't been able to go out, my bank account just keeps going up. And I was like, this is embarrassing. I really need to check my spending. So it's not even just like, oh, I have money going. I have a budget, but at the end of the day, it's like, do I really need to spend $500 going out to eat with Tracy? Do I need to do that? Like,
you gonna throw me
stop on this. What y'all be eating, yo? What do y'all eat when y'all go out?
Yeah, like what the hell? Listen, man. There's a lot of stunt doubles on here. It's a lot of stunt doubles on this project. I'm just gonna say, y'all stunt doubles on here, because she just said we spend. What the hell y'all be eating? Like, y'all must be having escargot lunches on the regular.
Gabby, you have your pinky finger up.
Courtney knows I have a motto. I work hard, and working hard means I don't eat BS and I don't drink BS.
I heard that.
There you go.
I heard that.
Hey, listen. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying, like, for us average Joes, that sounds like a lot of money for lunch. You know what I mean? That's for me. That sounds like that sounds like a couple dollars for lunch.
I have a budget.
Let's take a quick pause.
2 months of groceries.
Let's take a quick pause and check in with the comments. So Jairus Williams says, welcome, Jairus, by the way. She's working on her current wealth strategy, is working on debt-free journey. Salutes. Starting a dessert company business. Salutes. Let us know when you get that going. Please. And some long-term investing, true work in progress. It's a true work in progress, but it's great work in progress. So don't stop.
What kind of dessert, lady? We need
yeah, you hear that? The food people. What kind of dessert?
Yeah. What kind of desserts?
What kind of dessert you got?
Champagne cake.
So Alexa says that's the way to do it. Leverage the insurance to pay for the property.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Courtney, take this one.
Where or how do you purchase insurance for your mortgage? So basically through any insurance broker. Like, that's where you just get. I mean, a lot of mortgage companies will offer mortgage insurance. Get it on your own.
It's all right.
It tends to be very expensive to get it through the mortgage company, and also they kind of basically take first dibs on the money, and it's like, no, we'll figure it out, mortgage. I'll get back to you if somebody passes away. Don't call us. I'll call you. Don't do that. So it gives you. It's very important that you have power over the assets or the things that you're using to protect. And Tracy talked about this earlier about using a trust and using insurance. One of the strategies about trust and insurance is that actually to make sure that the trust remains funded. What some people do, some families do, is they will have an insurance policy on every single beneficiary. So when the beneficiary passes away, the trust is paying for the insurance policy, but when the beneficiary passes away, it funds the trust for the next generation. So it kind of, because they're saying in estate planning, short sleeves in 3 generations, basically meaning one generation makes the money, the next generation spends it, and by the next generation, they kind of don't have that much left over. So it's about the continuation strategy and using insurance to kind of extend the lifetime.
Yep.
Yo, that's next level advice. I don't think the people recognize that's valuable advice right there.
Like Courtney
said, I gotta watch it back.
But acquiring the asset is only half the story.
Yep.
Getting the money, creating the wealth, creating all of the properties and the doors is half the story. Keeping it is the other half. You have to maintain it. And you have to make sure that it doesn't get taken away, and that you can also maintain it generationally.
Gotcha. All right, let's finish checking in, folks. All right. So Alexa says BRRs. That she was referring to what I was talking about. Buy, rehab, rent, and refinance. Buy, refinance, rent, and finance. What is it? I'm saying it wrong?
No. You're not saying it wrong. You're saying it right.
Wrong order.
The order don't matter. The strategy at this light. That's a
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Got you. My bad. All right. So Alexa's cracking up at Tracy's face. Jared says Thailand, beautiful and dirt cheap.
I need to see some black people though. I need some black folks.
We're in Thailand.
I need to see some. Yeah. I can't move somewhere no black people.
All right, cool. I'm not mad at the ladies.
Alexis, you already know, girl. We can't play these games.
Y'all know the sisters gonna stick together, right?
Oh, we're getting samples, y'all.
Oh, we getting samples?
Look at that.
Oh, it's lit.
There you go.
All right.
Yo, Jerry, you gotta feed the fat boy first.
Yeah, but which fat boy? Because I'm in that club too. So,
hey, listen, man.
I know Jairus. So listen, y'all just meeting Jairus. I've known Jairus since I was 12 years old.
Listen.
I want mine first.
This sounds like okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so you like.
Y'all can get some. I just gotta get mine first. I want the big piece of chicken.
Hold on. You got single serve buffet style mason jars and dessert and cakes and desserts. All right, that's dope. Make sure Corey gets his first. Send me mine second, and then worry about everybody else later.
No, you can send mine first. Me and
Damn.
I don't listen, and I will send it right in my DMs. Like, hey, Corey.
Listen, that's gonna be my next black business spotlight. Is gonna be her company. How the cake tastes.
Yeah, she's there every week. We gotta show love back. Absolutely. All right, so Monica Williams says her current strategy is debt reduction, focusing on health. Listen, that's important. That's very important. And padding my 457B and my Roth accounts.
So
listen, one of the reasons why we do a health check-in, because most people, when they only talk about the money and financial side.
Right.
In actuality, wealth is about the whole thing. It's about your education. It's about your health. It's absolutely about the money. But what good is the money if you can't even walk a quarter block to go to the ice cream store like Courtney just did earlier? So, we got to think about all those things, folks. All those things.
So, wait, can we talk about what the 457 is? Because a lot of people do not know what it is. So there are accounts that are available. You have everyone thinks that every retirement account that's offered by an employer apparently is a 401k. It's not. 401ks are for profit organizations. So like Walmart has a 401k, Home Depot has a 401k, but 403bs are by nonprofits in schools, some nonprofit hospitals. 457s are municipal, which are like city, local government, and state. And then you have a TSP, which is Thrift Savings Plan, which is the federal government's plan. But each plan has a different set of rules. So one of the things that I tell people about creating their wealth strategy that dictate your program, because the 457, you can start putting extra money in more than you normally would be allowed in your last couple of years before you retire. And a lot of people don't know that rule, so they miss out on the opportunity to put more money away tax deferred. So
the drop for Philly folks.
No. Those are two different things. The drop is actually is unrelated to the 457.
But that's where the money goes for the city. It goes into the 457B plan.
Some of them have gotten their checks in hand.
Yeah, but
it doesn't.
Plan.
What did Jimmy say?
No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, Kamari. In terms of the drop money, that's totally separate from the 457.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because they can. I think you can put your drop money in the 457. I think, but I don't know, because again, the 457 still has a cap of if you're under the age of 50, it's 19,000 for
right.
then it's 20.
It's 19.5, I think now. 19.5, I think it is 19.5. Yeah, 19.5. They just raised it.
Extra 6,000 if you're over the age of 50. But the drop money, I'm pretty sure you get that in your hand. I know they could put it in another type of account, like they can probably even do it as an annuity. But the 457 is completely different, because it's actually really optional if you're a city worker. You don't have to use it at all.
Yeah, right, the crazy thing is,
I'm almost part of it is it's coming from
with all those retirement accounts.
I don't know if they should get rid of it, but that's a whole other separate conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole day. But my thing is this though. What's interesting about those plans to me, it seems like they keep raising the limits every year. So are they like just telling you, like, listen, you better look out for yourself? Because that's what it seems like. The Roth continuously goes up. The 401k goes up.
No, it's
always incentivize what they want you to do, what's best for the economy, right? They don't want a whole bunch of people broke and on Social Security.
No, so that's what I'm asking. I'm like, they raise it every year, like all those different accounts. And I'm like, they're telling you, I guess to me, it looks like y'all better take care of yourselves.
It's supposed to be inflation, y'all. It's supposed to keep up with inflation. No, but it does definitely say, like, hey, y'all gonna have to take care of yourselves. But I mean, that's been the case since they basically did it with the regular pension for everybody in the world other than government employees.
Right.
So
yeah.
So Angela says thank you. Angela says thank you.
You're welcome.
Alexa says that's true gold. Maintenance. Yep. I believe she's talking about going back to the property.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, Alexandra, how you doing? So you jumping from Instagram to Facebook now. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey.
So you want to get rid of your student loan debt? Well, I think you watched the video I did with Sonia, the student loan doctor. So I would definitely be checking out Sonia, the student loan doctor. She can definitely help you with that. Okay, going back to Monica. She says it's pension. If you're over 50, you can make catch-up contributions. Yes. JW, love your headset. Gotcha.
Oh, thank you.
So, all right. So everybody's got their wealth strategy down. Anybody think they need to tweak anything, or is it just set in stone for what they're doing?
I think it changes with whatever's going on. I mean, sometimes you just have to be. We talk about businesses being able to pivot. Like if something happens, there's a change in the economy, then businesses need to be able to pivot. You as kind of think of yourself as your own kind of economy. You may need to have to pivot too, depending on what's going on. Like we have the 7 streams of income, one of which is earned income. So what happens if you lose your job? Then you lose a stream of income. So then what do? What's your pivot? Do you go into business? Do you if you have a business, you try to work that and kind of increase your business income to kind of close the gap? What do you do? So it's just about being able to pivot, understanding that, like Jimmy said, like you don't know everything. Like I have know a lot, but there's always different strategies that I could use that would be beneficial for my family, and not necessarily just beneficial for me, but for the kids and all of that. So I think it's really important to be able to be flexible and be able to know that you can pivot and not get stuck somewhere.
Gotcha. Here, another comment real quick. So Kia or Kaya, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. If I am, please forgive me. So her wealth strategy is maximizing Roth IRA, maximum contributions to a 403b, IUL. So IUL is a indexed universal life policy and real estate investment properties. And also, she said also stocks and dividend income. But listen, one of the things why we had this conversation, right, is because Black folks, a lot of us, don't realize that we should be definitely intentional about our wealth strategy. Coupled with the other reason that we often don't talk about money or finances or even health and wealth sometimes. So we want to make talking about those things cool, make it okay. So that was one of the impetus or the reasons why we decided to talk about this tonight. Corey, what were you about to say?
So no, I
got you.
I was gonna say I might move the percentage up that I put into crypto and precious metals, depending on the economy. So that's as a wealth strategy, you know what I mean. Like I put a certain percentage of my money into crypto every week, month, and I might move that percentage higher, depending upon especially if the government starts to make their own crypto. I might change that percentage a lot.
Gotcha. All right, Malik.
About to have Kamari go from crypto.
A great black scholar once said, "If you don't have a tax plan, you don't have a wealth plan." Who was that person?
Uh-oh.
Young Mr. Kamari Ellis. Young Mr. Kamari Ellis is our great scholar.
I'm about to cry, y'all. Y'all know how much Malik bullied me, right? He called me a scholar. Yeah, like, y'all, I'm in my bag right now.
So now, listen. Last thing, real quick. On March 12th of 2020, I wrote.
Okay.
If you don't have,
wait a minute, send me that link.
Screenshot that. Put that in the group chat. You got to screenshot that. Screenshot that and put that in the group chat, man.
Put it up.
Hold on, Courtney. Calm down. Calm down, Jess.
That got to go on the Summer Jam screen.
Wait, how do I put it up?
Just either put it in the group chat or in the chat over here. We need to see it.
It's not on that. I can't. It's my other phone.
Right.
I'm gonna add.
No. Put it in the group chat on
email
Facebook.
to Kamari.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm not on that. Oh, on the page. All right.
You on your phone?
I'm on my other phone.
Okay. You got my number in that. We need that.
Hey, you got IG on that phone?
They got what?
If you got IG on that phone, send it to his IG inbox rather. Send it to his IG inbox. You got to put that on the Summer Jam screen.
I'm gonna just add him on Facebook.
On the page. Okay. So Alexis correctly.
No,
right?
no, on your it's on your personal Facebook right now. I tagged you in the post on your personal Facebook page.
You tag Courtney?
No, I added you, Kamari.
Okay. All right, I get it real quick. But I want to talk about what Alexis just mentioned real quick. So Alexis just said black people had to talk about it. I agree. Yep. So listen, I do have one ask before our ask at the end of the show. Talk with y'all people about money.
Yep.
Not just the cool and sexy stuff. Not just somebody got a new car. Not just somebody got a new vacation home, which vacation homes are cool and they are assets. But talk to them about the things that could potentially or have the greatest possibility of creating wealth for them, themselves, their family, and their community in some points, right? Because, there's a lot of people out there suffering and they don't have to. They want to learn, but many people are embarrassed about what they don't know.
One of the things that I can add from a family perspective, every Sunday growing up, we used to play Monopoly. And playing Monopoly to help understand real estate. So my dad could discuss and have conversations with us about what he was doing. So when he discussed it later, like, oh, I just bought this property, or, this multi-unit is equivalent of a building like we did in the game. You guys remember? So it was a segue conversation. And it also opened doors later on to have the life insurance conversation, the other thing, because wealth building wasn't taboo at dinner.
That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, I just did that this weekend. I did a class. I literally did a class this weekend. I taught a class. I had my assistant send out all of these emails. That's all I did. He sent out all these emails. And I said, hey, this is what we were able to come up with. This is what I made from this class. This is what we did. This is what you contributed to. And he was so excited about it. And I think we have to start talking about money. We have to. Because when we talk about money, we put ourselves in a position where if somebody comes into a problem, we feel comfortable in saying, hey, I have an issue. And we can actually talk through it. So like I said, when we were working through it, I had my assistant send out emails to people saying, hey, and I said, this is your script. This is what you send out. And then he understood what he contributed to the pot. So then when he gets paid, he's like, hey, I contributed to the pot. I get something out of this pot. And one of the things that I think we might have talked about before is that I also put him in a half of his money for the summer is going to a Roth IRA. The other money is going into his pocket. So he'll still be able, in a Roth IRA, you can use it for education. You can use it for retirement. You can use it for the purchase of your first time home. And it doesn't count towards your financial aid either. Retirement accounts don't count there. So it's understanding the system. You have to learn the system and play it better than anyone else. But I was explaining this to him. So he may not get everything. He's 14. But as you talk about it, it's kind of like learning a new language. You just kind of pick it up at some point. So
how old is he, Courtney? How old is he?
He's 14.
How old? What's the? Is there a minimum age for a Roth IRA?
No, you just have to have earned income.
Right.
Got you.
Courtney, do me a favor. I want you to just give like 3 to 5 bullet points real quick as I'm pulling up Malik's post in response to Alexis' statement, because I think this is key and nobody talks about it. And since you are a resident counsel at large here, you're the most qualified to talk about it.
Okay, so it also depends on. So Alexis and I have had a couple of conversations about this. I met Alexis last year at a real estate event in Chicago. So Illinois has different kind of rules. Each state, so property is done by the state. So that's why you're licensed as a real estate agent by your state. That's why with a lot of laws, things are done by the state. But I share that with you is that in Pennsylvania, when Granny passes away, if Granny has a will. It goes through her will, and if Granny dies without a will, which means dying with a will means you die. If you have a will and you die, it's called you died testate. So testate means that you have a will. If you die without a will, you die intestate. And then you also have the option for a property for it to be in a residential trust. Now, a lot of times what happens, and this is I talked about this in my article about 3 ways to avoid a financial entanglement. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I was talking about that. And one of the things that I talked about is that when someone dies intestate, a lot of people don't know exactly how to open an estate. So they just don't do it. So they just kind of continue to live in the house. And then over time, something happens to the house, like the roof. Like something happens with the roof. You have a roof leak. Roofs are kind of expensive to repair. So a lot of people would normally, if they own the property, they may get a line of credit or something like that to repair. But if you don't own the property, you can't get a line of credit. So the property goes into disrepair and then something happens or they can't pay the taxes. It goes up for sheriff's sale. So you lose the asset that your family has because you didn't do the planning. So I think it's really important to do the planning, have the conversation. I am a person that does not like to share property with people because people will fight and they actually end up losing the asset because they're in the middle of a fight. I've seen that happen.
Talk about it.
Courtney, just real quick, Courtney, but like the conversation though, right? I know you're talking about the technical issues, but the conversation, like
just have it.
Yeah, but it's deeper than just have it though, right? Because you can say just have it, but a lot of times people don't know what to talk about. You see what I'm saying?
In your house when you die, my mom.
What's that?
It is that simple though.
What about?
Let me say this right.
My grandmother's 90 years old.
Hold on, folks. What about jewelry? What about cars? What about assets? People don't understand, the beneficiaries on life insurance policies. Is there life insurance?
Mm-hmm. You just have to have the conversation. But unfortunately, I can ask you all the questions that I want. And I've asked people, and I've gotten jammed up on the stand, with witnesses that don't want to answer questions. But that's real. Like, we have a very secretive culture. My grandmother's 91 years old. She was born in 1929. She was born right in the middle of the Depression. So she does not want to have those conversations. I can tell you, I think I was told I'm one of the executors on the will, but if I've seen the will, you've seen the will. So I don't know. So again, I'm an estate attorney and I still can't have these conversations in a way that is very helpful. And it's frustrating. So I can only do what I can. I can educate people. I can tell them to have the conversation, but they have to be the ones to open the jaws and talk. And sometimes they just don't. So I can say all that I can share all of that, but until we as a community make a concerted effort to say, if I do not talk about my assets, they will be gone. And all the things that I've done during my life to have something will be done for naught.
Got you. Good point. Thank you for giving clarity on that. All right, so listen, we got the showdown time, y'all.
Oh, okay.
It's not a showdown.
Let's go.
Not a showdown.
Let me see.
It's not a showdown.
I'm getting my
He
diatribe
don't want no more smoke.
I'm getting my diatribe on for a minute.
Okay.
All right, so Malik wrote, if you don't have life insurance, this is a good time to get some.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you can't afford it, grab a term policy and hold it for at least a few months. The few months is
Now, let me get a backstory on this real fast. This is at the very beginning of COVID, and folks was dying. I'm like, yo, you have your insurance policy, go ahead and get you some. Right now, once again, real estate coach Carter, my life insurance coach Carter. And I'm okay with being corrected.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Courtney's comment right here 19 weeks ago. Could you explain more about your position?
Now, Kamari, that was not a comment. Somebody from the street recognized that's a track. That right there. So I avoided that track. Right.
She set him up. Did you order the code red?
Right. So, I got up out of there.
And then, in typical fashion, she posted an article that she wrote for AOL. So then she low-level stunned on you.
Right.
So then she writes, "You do realize if you die, Jimmy, we need to make that
we need a soundboard with that on there.
Soundboard, exactly." So then she says, "You do realize if you die in the first year or so of getting the policy, the way you die will determine if your family gets paid. So holding on to it for a few months might not do much. Stacking cash is probably the best thing to do given these circumstances." All right, Courtney, you sat quietly. I know you're ready to bust off. I know you got a full chamber over there.
I said what I said. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're saying one of the bigger things, this is what happens with term policies.
Courtney, can you say that again for me? Can you just say it again for me?
What?
That's what I said.
Yeah, she said what Needy Leaks, John.
I said what I said. There's nothing more for me to say. I mean, telling somebody, oh, you should get a term policy and just hold on it for a couple of months. Lots of times they probably won't even, there's a lot of provisions. I used to sell life insurance. So I know more about life insurance than the average person. So a lot of times there's actually provision depending on how you die in that year of when you get it. They may not pay. Lots of times they probably won't pay. So, I mean, do you get term insurance? Do you get life insurance? Heck yeah, but you just get it to hold on to for a couple of months just to kind of hold it as a baby? No, that's not how this works. And so I basically, especially in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania has an inheritance tax, that is something that does not go away when you die. So, I mean, it's just, unfortunately, people get jammed up. I used to drag people into court like the sheriff had to go get somebody out of the PJs and bring them to court because they didn't pay inheritance tax. So it's a very real thing. And I think a lot of people do a disservice when they talk about doing buy term, invest the difference, or, forget about whole life insurance is a waste of money. It's like, no, you have to make it a part of your wealth strategy and it has to make sense. So I think it's very important that we don't do this piecemeal kind of conversations. I get that we want to begin the conversation. We kind of want to prime our audience, but I think one of the biggest things that we have to prime our audience with good quality information. And that's why I dropped the link. So everybody, all minds were clear. And we move from there.
So now listen, so that being said, right? So if someone gets a term life insurance policy on March 12th, term life insurance policy on in August, they contract COVID and pass away, the policy would not be honored.
It may not. It depends. It really depends.
But it has a strong possibility of being honored. But to Courtney's point, what people need to understand is all insurance companies don't want to pay, right? So they try not to pay anything. But there is a strong possibility. Like if I buy a policy today and I lose a race against against the railroad train tomorrow, my policy technically should pay. Now, if I lied on it, or if I did some Fugazi-esque type stuff, it might not. And like Courtney said, there's some other things that are going on, especially in the insurance industry, that it's real interesting right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, again, if you get insurance policy like on 1 month and you actually commit suicide within that year, your insurance policy is probably not going to pay. There's a carve out in there. This is you basically commit suicide within a year of getting the policy. A lot of them, not all, because I haven't seen all, but some of them actually do have that carve out. So again, it's about understanding what we have. It's about understanding.
So I wasn't totally wrong. I was maybe wrong.
No, you weren't totally wrong.
You weren't totally wrong, but I think again it's about having the fuller conversation. That's my point, and that's why I just let's flush it out. And I said, hey, could you explain more where you're going? And I wasn't trying to be slick. I wasn't.
That was not the tone of your text. Your text was more than that smoke.
Honest to goodness, having a conversation like, hey, can you explain your position? Like that's all.
I recognize that tone.
Like
you set you up.
Courtney doesn't do well unless it's all technicalities. It's really hard just having a shoot the breeze kind of conversation with Courtney. Just being totally honest with you, because she'll be like, but no, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. But Courtney, the man's talking about life insurance, and people don't have life insurance. But then it was that last little sentence that got her clawed. And she was like, no, she let it go on you.
I didn't, but
if you didn't have that thing that says a couple months, you'd have been good.
Yeah, what? But Darius has a very good point. She said some insurance companies put up her comment. This is a great point. This is like I said, I sold insurance. So here.
That's
I guess the lesson. I guess
that's
the lesson in this is to understand what you have, right? Because what I'm taking from this conversation is all of them are different. You got to read what you have.
You do. So the contingency usually is 2 years. Like if you lied or if you commit suicide. If you commit suicide, they're not paying your policy if you do it within the first 2 years. But again, if I buy a policy today and that policy is binding today, because people have bought a boatload of life insurance from me as well in the past, it will pay out. Granted, it passed all the tests. Right. That's the caveat out there.
Yeah. So, gentlemen and lady, I have to roll. But it's been a pleasure.
Always.
All right.
We just want to know. We just want to know. Can we come to the next $500 lunch? That's all we want to know.
Absolutely.
If you pay,
You're
you pay for your own food. That's it.
Oh, why you say
that? Let me explain this. We do not fight over the bill. Like we go.
I don't fight over the bill.
No, listen. I'm about that life. I hate when people fight over the bill. Yeah, ain't no bill fighting. We good.
Me too.
Listen,
yeah, I'm not fighting over no bill. And to be honest, I've been at some $3,000 dinners, so I understand what a $500 lunch looks like. So it's not hard at all. It's not really hard to get to a $500 lunch. I was just fucking with them because they like to stunt. You know what I mean? And so I like to stunt too. I just had to, I had to stick a little jab.
We know about y'all. We know how you guys stunt. So please understand, like we knew what you were saying, but I had to clarify it for the people in the streets because it sounded like, oh no, he didn't know what we were talking about. Oh no, I know that you. I just had to clarify. So let the people in the streets know that we don't play this bill splitting nonsense. We split it down the middle. We keep it pushing.
No, we don't either.
We keep it.
Yeah, we don't either. As a matter of fact, we owe Kamari a meal. Last time we went out, Kamari treated. So, Kamari, we owe you. Once the world opens back up.
Yeah.
Well, look, Courtney, don't even go there.
Anyway, let me roll out because I'm going.
Yeah, because you about to catch these people. You about to let these hands go.
Good night, y'all.
I gotta go too.
All right,
See y'all later.
We're about to wrap up. We're about to wrap up anyway, right? So everybody tell me, what was your black magic moment of the week? Anybody have any?
I mean,
let's see.
Yeah, just black magic.
Look at your walls. Look at your walls.
Nah, that was hilarious, right? I don't know if y'all guys saw that video. That your guy Tony the Closer. Tony the Closer was talking to a young gentleman. And he was asking the young gentleman about how much money he made. So the guy wouldn't answer him. He said, man, look at your walls, man. Like, he started going in about him. Like, you ain't making that much money because your walls is all.
But Jimmy, get a context on, because that guy looked like he was trying to sell Tony the Closer something.
Yeah, so it was a young gentleman, like he was trying to sell him something. And he was asking him, like, well, if you're trying to sell me something, like, tell me how much you make. Because, a lot of times you have these gurus out here who are selling things, but they can't tell you what they personally do. He's like, what do you make?
That wasn't it. He was telling Tony how to do his business with the other dude. He was like, no, you don't collect your money this way. You collect your money that way.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, well, how much money you made?
Yeah, other dude.
But yo, he said, look at your walls. Was that? And by the way, people out here probably have no idea what we're talking about, but we're talking about a post that was on social media. It was pretty funny. Like it was like a meme.
Right.
Like, you know, look at your walls.
So now my black magic moment of the week was me, actually. I had a black magic moment of the week, and I was at, and you know what? And shout out also to Hood Estates, man. So in my interview with Hood Estates, you know, I wanted to announce to the world that in honor of Michiho was an Instagram comedian who was doing very well, 25 years old, was murdered here in Philadelphia. And so his theme was Mr. 1,000 Jobs. What he would do is he would go to a business with that uniform on, and he would start working like he was a new employee, and the owner or the manager had no idea what was going on. He would just start working, and that was his comedy, right? That was like his catch. So he was just going anywhere and work. So in honor of Michiho and his catchphrase, Mr. 1,000 Jobs, I decided to help 1,000 people get jobs, you know, and as a response to the violence in the city and to help people get out of survival mode, we know that instead of them having to hit that lick, instead of them having to commit that crime to eat, let's expose them to opportunities, whether it's working, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, that they wouldn't have. And during that, shout out to Pocky from Hood Estates, he said that he'd be anybody that came through this program that I put together, he'd be willing to give them his course for free. His course is teaching people how to invest in trucks. And so anybody comes to the program, there'll be no charge. But like I said, our whole goal is to stem some of the violence in the city. You know, I do want to say this. There's a lot of organizations putting in a great, you know, long-term work in the city. We have long-term solutions, but this is the only thing that I could think of the right now. The right now is let me make sure that people got food in their stomach so they don't have to go and take penitentiary chances.
Right.
Yeah, man, I think that's amazing because
that's dope.
And what I would say is this though. So you said if anyone comes to your program, like what kind of program that you're having?
So I put together a program. Yeah. So basically, right now, what I'm thinking about is if people know like somebody that's on the verge, right, whether they got a felony and not got a felony, none of that even matters as you're talking about ownership. Also, the felony part only matters because like most of these trucking companies don't care if you got a felony if you could drive. You know, for the most part, you know what kind of felony it is right now. But also with his program, like I said, it's about ownership. So I'm going to put together something, right? And I may even have to piecemeal a couple of people together to go into ownership together. I haven't figured it all out yet. But the fact of the matter is, the people that, you know, they want to learn as a way to, as an alternative method to get money, then he's going to offer the program for free.
So what I'll say is this though, we'll offer the same thing. Anybody that comes to your program and is looking to learn about investing, we'll give a full course load to them for free. So we'll do this.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing.
Man, we're gonna make everything. We're gonna make everybody. And so what I decided to do is I'm gonna pay for 3 people to take the real estate class. And normally I don't put any strings attached. This time I'm gonna put a string attached. Is they have to start in commercial. They can do residential later, but they have to start in commercial and not residential, right? So I'm gonna pay for the full class. You know, I'm pay for the book, pay for everything. You know, help them get through, and then when you get licensed, help them do that commercial business. That's what we ask. I'm paying for 3 people.
I think that's dope because you're talking about solutions, and I think that's that's admirable, and we want to help out any way we can. Like I said, we'll give our full course for free to someone as well. Because I think that's amazing, man. Because it's about, and also by the way, while we're talking about this, I've had 2 black entrepreneurs today tell me they're hiring. I know Tia Blair is looking for a part-time worker, and I had someone who owns a pest control company. They're hiring as well. All you need is A driver's license.
No, that's it. There was some info. I want to talk to them too, because discrimination. That's my twist. that's my go-to discrimination. So you're not.
I definitely will. I got you with that. But it's 2 Black-owned businesses looking to hire. So if you know anybody out there, anybody watching this, know someone looking for work, please let us know. You can inbox the Black Wealth Project. We'll get back to you. But make sure you let us know, because I think that jobs are rather important. Because it's about putting income. Because here's the thing, man. I know a lot of you folks be on there and y'all talk about, this Black on Black violence and I get that, right? But the fact of the matter is, rich Black folks don't kill each other. There's not a lot of gun violence in neighborhoods where people have means. It's more of an issue of poverty, more so than anything else, if you really want to talk about it. So we want to make sure that we're trying to help people in the community put themselves in positions where they're not out here committing gun violence, right? I don't know about you guys. When's the last time you saw and any Black people with money out here shooting each other?
Well, hold that thought, Jimmy. We got to continue on with the Black Magic Moment of the Week. Do you guys have any other Black Magic Moments of the week that you want to talk about? What about you, Jimmy? No Black Magic?
No, that's good. I mean, I like where this conversation went, because we want to help some folks. So I'm good.
All right, so real quick, and we'll come right back to that real quick as we wrap up. My Black Magic Moment of the week was Oprah Winfrey is adopting the New York Times 1619 Project for film and television. If anybody has not listened to this as a podcast, please go listen to it. It's so important. It's probably the most critical piece of journalism done in the last couple of years regarding Black folks. And it says 1619, but it's not just about slavery. It talks about slavery. It talks about stories about Black farmers and how Black farmers have been treated poorly. It talks about music and rock and roll, how rock and roll was stolen from Black folks. It's very in depth. And for me, I'm a nerd, right? So I definitely was able to nerd out on that, and it's very, very informative.
All right, I'll check it out. I was against it initially. I'm tired of slave narratives, but I will look into it because you said so.
Yeah, it's not a slave narrative at all. But I will say this though, right? We always talk about the slave narrative. I don't really believe we really have that many slave narratives, right? Because I still think as a people, we really don't understand that period and how nuanced and complicated that period was. So, we don't talk about how many slave revolts there actually were. They might talk about one, but there was plenty of slave revolts.
You know what?
Hold on, let me say this real quick. One comment that gets me up is when folks say, "I'm not my ancestors." Like our ancestors.
Yeah, I hate that.
I went on full tirade.
I hate that too. That bothers my existence. I hate that.
They were not sweet. They were not sweet. But go ahead, Jimmy.
What I will say about what you said about that narrative, right? And I get your point. We really don't talk about just how brutal and some of the things that actually happened to our folks. But I also get what Malik is saying. And it's kind of changing now, but we have so many stories. Even within the 1619, I listened to it because you recommended it to me. The farming piece was probably the most powerful piece, but so Monica says right there, the farming piece, right? So, but when it was marketed, that's what I thought I was going to go get into when they said the 1619 Project. I thought it was strictly about slavery. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but we have so many stories, like we have so many great stories, and all of our stories aren't tragedies. Now, we're in a moment in time now where a lot of our stories are being told. There's a lot of content on television now telling different black experiences, and I think that's amazing. But they've always been there. We just really haven't had an opportunity to shine light on them.
Right. And I mean, like Jimmy, I know Jimmy loves it. I believe Corey loves it too, but the Black Fortunes book. The Black
greatest. That's amazing.
It tells so many stories, Jim Crow, sometimes during and after slavery. I know the book is saying the 6 millionaires after slavery, but it talks about during slavery as well, a little bit. And so there's a lot there. There's a lot to unravel. There was a lot to
Have you read the book? Have you read the book on Jeremiah Hamilton?
I started to listen to it. It was so slow.
Yo, get into it. Wait till you get into it. Like, he was a beast, but
right.
We say?
I think it's called The Dark Prince.
It's called The Dark Prince. Yep, The Dark Prince. But the book on Jeremiah Hamilton, that's another story. It's like we have all these amazing stories, and that's what Malik was talking about. And then somehow we get movies about slavery, right? So I get it, but I also get your point too. Like we need to talk about that because most of the time when you talk about slavery now, they tell you to get over it or don't talk about it. So we do need to talk about it. But in terms of our stories being told on a big platform, you know, we need to have different stories told. My wife was showing me earlier on Disney, everything on Disney Plus that's about anybody black is hip hop related. I'm like, yo, we do more than just hip hop. Like we have like, you know what I mean? Like it's just our stories got to be told. That's all.
I'll just say this real quick, and I'll come to you, Malik. History is actually a blip in the screen of Black history or African history, and so I think if we're able to really put it in that context, we'll get it. But I think what happens to us is that we fall for the Americanized fashion of what Black people are and what Black history is. But go ahead.
So firstly, now we got senators and was it Tom Cotton? His name, you know, he's legislating not to teach the 1619 Project in school. He does not want that in school, and he said that that slavery was a necessary evil.
Whoa!
This is a senator.
A U.S. senator saying this. He's a senator.
Yeah, that wasn't black magic at all, man. I wanted to put pause on board when I saw that comment.
Hold on. It's a black senator that said this?
No. He white. He white as
Okay. You about to make it worse. Okay.
But he
I think from Arkansas. Yeah, Tom Cotton. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Hold up, his last name is really Cotton.
It's really Cotton, bro.
The irony of that.
The jokes write themselves.
Yeah, right.
They so do.
Yeah. So, but nah, man. So my thing is, but what I'm saying is, the cost of filmmaking has come down significantly. It's like we no longer really need the studios, right? Nobody is even in the movie theaters. Like it just really comes down to, okay, what's the script? Who the actors? Let's go ahead and finance.
And what's the marketing budget? Like, can you get it in front of enough people so that you can pay everybody? That's it.
That's right.
Narratives collected of formerly enslaved people.
Yeah, cats out there.
Starvation.
Cats out there doing whole movies on their iPhone at this point. But yeah, man. So before we got here, come on. You gonna answer my question, man? Do y'all know any black folks? I would say that is it gun? I've never seen gun violence in black neighborhoods where people actually have means. That's all I was saying.
Nah. Only domestic. That's it.
And I like to go into. I teased Courtney earlier about the technicals, but I'm the same way, right? Black on black crime is bullshit. The whole term is bullshit.
Absolutely.
The right wing used that as a talking piece to basically take attention away from what's actually going on from an institutional governmental level. Police don't even patrol white neighborhoods at the same rate that they patrol black neighborhoods. But a lot of the drug usage is happening in white areas. And so if we can't even have that conversation, I don't even want to talk about black on black crime. I mean, the other thing that kind of gets my goat is people confusing Black Lives Matter with them supposed to do everything when their mission states what they're all about. But now people feel like they have the privilege and the entitlement this company should be about, or this nonprofit should be about. That's,
Yeah, I was just pointing that out because I was talking to our folks that watch this because I get tired of our folks running with that narrative, right? Yeah, because if you're not willing to have that conversation about the institution, because again, like I said, listen, most crime is a poverty thing. I can go to the worst neighborhood in Philadelphia. That's a white neighborhood.
Poverty and proximity. That's it. Yeah. Those are your factors for crime. Poverty and proximity. Those will tell you where the crimes are going to happen and at what rate.
But here's the thing. Let's take a step even further, right? If you really look at redlining and what redlining did, you could really argue that no one would ever have any ammunition to say black on black crime, because what redlining did was they created the hood, right? They forced people.
And then they drop police stations all through them.
Exactly. Then they drop police stations, and then they allow.
Then they drop crack.
Yes, and other guns. And nobody wants to talk about
drugs, all that stuff, man.
And nobody wants to talk about right? When you look at this whole Brexit thing, right? How the Democrats have done it so wrong. But nobody wants to talk about Nixon and how he hated blacks and he thought blacks were the enemy of the United States. By the way, Nixon was a Republican, right? So when you talk about these things, again, it's all nuance, folks. You really got to dig to it and not just focus on these black and white statements.
I agree. I was just bringing that up because, like, in reference to what Malik was saying about getting people opportunities, I think that's the way, and we all need to be about solutions and trying to get people opportunities. Because there are people out there that really would do something different if they had an opportunity. And
like, so, how many people kill people at their 8-hour job? There's not a white boy going post.
Say that again.
If you're working, how many people kill people at their 8-hour job? There's not a white boy going post. There's very few people that kill people at their job. People kill people because they got idle hands. They got idle time on their hands. Like,
let alone school massacres.
How about this? How many times do kids kill each other when they're in school? It doesn't happen in school. It happens when they got the idle time outside of school. Like, when you're actively engaged in doing something, it's very hard to be mad at somebody long enough to kill them.
Yeah, and when you feel like you have something to live for, you live a different way as well, right?
Yeah, so exactly, man. But so when I know the show's kind of long. I'm gonna say this real fast. If we just reduced in the city of Philadelphia, if we just reduced forget all the crime, just the gun crime. If we reduce the gun crime by 30%, the hoods would be perfect. Right? It's like, like it would be way more gentrification if the hoods were a little safer. Like I said, people won't feel a need to move to the suburbs, move wherever, if we just get gun crime down by 30%, which is a lot. But still, if we give people money, then they won't feel a need necessarily to shoot people up.
But I'm gonna say this in closing, right? Reading is important. This book right here, Our Black Year. And Our Black Year, y'all hear me talk about this. You're probably tired of me talking about this.
I'm reading it right now.
Actually, this book is a book of solutions, right? And so Maggie Anderson wrote this book. And what she says in this book, and it ties back to this closing conversation that we're having, is that Black people spend 2% of the disposable income with Black-owned businesses. If they increase that number to 10%, just 10% of their spend with Black-owned businesses, the Black community will create 1 million jobs overnight. That's the cheat code. That's the solution. I mean, it's the other things too, like Malik was talking about and what Jimmy's talking about, but that's something we can do on our own. That's right. We can do it our own.
Right. And
it don't take much.
And part of it, what I'm saying is I'm focused on the jobs piece, because we can have the Black-owned business, but if people don't have a job to support that business, then it won't last.
There's no money.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's not just one thing. It's several things. It's a cake, right? Sure. And you got to bring all the ingredients to the cake and build that cake out. If you ain't got no sugar or no flour in the cake, it ain't gonna work. And so again, I think it's one thing. It's not. It's not. So all right, folks, it's the end of the show. How can people? How can Malik, starting off with you? How can the audience?
So listen, if you know anybody that's hiring, if you're hiring, if your job is hiring, or if you know some skills that you want to teach, send me a DM at Coach Carter. I'm accessible. I need to, like, sometimes get 1,000 people employed. Send everything my way. If you know somebody that's on the verge, might need a job, before they hit the limit, send them to my DM, and let me see what I can do as far as some able employment.
Gotcha. Corey, what you got?
Cash App Corey Camp.
You saw that? Put it up. What is it? Cash App what? Corey who?
Corey Camp, my name.
Corey Camp. All right. CAMP.
Yeah, man. Like, look, man, there's a lot of things to support. There's lots of things to support. If you like me a little bit, throw me a couple dollars. Hey, listen, man. I told you where the money going. It's going right to Bitcoin. So if you cash at me, you just helping me. You helping me fund my Bitcoin retirement.
So I'm gonna send Corey $2 right now, yo.
Going right to Bitcoin.
What you got, Jimmy?
All my Cash App goes to Square Stock. But listen though, I would say if you know anyone that's looking to learn how to get started in the investment space, you know, you can inbox us or go to buythehooduniversity.com. We're looking to help people in our community who don't have any experience at all learn. Or if you know someone that's looking to get a little bit more information about how to break down a company, analyze a company, we have a course for that as well. And we'll give you a discount to say that, hey, I came from the Black Wealth Project, and we'll give you a discount from like coming from the Black Wealth Project. But just reach out to us if you know anyone or you yourself want to learn how to get started. And that's buythehooduniversity.com.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. I just sent Corey. I ain't sending $2. I ain't gonna do it like that. I sent him $5. So I sent $5 to find Corey's Bitcoin fund. Now the
Satoshis.
The funny thing about this is that all me and Corey used to do when we first met was argue about Bitcoin. So this shows that I'm not a hater. All right.
Before we go, Kamari, I just want to yes or no question. Are you still anti-Bitcoin?
I've never been anti-Bitcoin. I'm not anti anything. Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
right,
I'm anti for us being suckers and just going into things as fads, right? Because Malik thinks I'm anti real estate. I am anti fad chasing. I am anti wagon hopping. I am pro doing your own work, being pro, attacking an asset class and killing it. That's what I'm.
All right, you're anti-FOMO. Anti-FOMO.
Yes, I'm anti-FOMO. Somebody put that in the chat. Anti-FOMO. So listen, I would ask everybody. FOMO. Yeah, so my ask is everybody, listen, follow the Black Wealth Project, especially on YouTube. We need some love over there, y'all. So going over to www.com/the Black Wealth Project on YouTube. I'm sorry, www.youtube.com/the Black Wealth Project on YouTube. All right. So that's all I have tonight. We'll be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. ish, and we'll be here talking about a new relevant Black Wealth subject that we all can talk about with our family, our friends, and everybody basically in the community. So everybody, thank you for joining. I'm honored that you're here. I know the team's honored that you're here, and everyone have a great weekend. And make sure to get some workout in as well as eat right. Drink that water. Later, folks. Bye-bye.
Peace.